couple weeks ago in Boston. Huge win for Eddie Alvarez. He has faced a murderer's row in the UFC thus far, and he picked up a massive one over Anthony Pettis. We're talking to him right now on the phone. Eddie, how are you? Oh, on Skype. There he is. Eddie?
What up?
Hello, what happened? I thought you didn't have any Skype credit.
No. I was texting. I didn't know what that meant when I kept calling you.
All right. Well, here you are. It's great to see you. By the way, congratulations. I was at the MMA Awards. You couldn't have been bothered to show up and pick up your award, but you won an award. You know this, right?
I should have had you do it on my behalf.
That would have been nice.
I didn't know you were there.
But I gotta be honest. Comeback of the year. Were you surprised? I mean, I didn't really think that was much of a comeback in a fight. Gilbert Melendez.
I don't know if they looked at it that way, but my nose and my orbital was broken within like the first minute.
Fair enough.
And so it was a lot to come back from, but whatever. Hey, knockout of the year can go to an athlete. BJJ of the year can go to a good black belt, but only a fighter gets the comeback fight of the year. So
yes,
I'll take it.
I like it. I like the way you break that down. Is that the first time you've won an award from this show?
The MMA, I believe so. I've gotten Bozzies and stuff, and fight here in the past, but that show itself, yeah.
So you actually take pride in this. This is an indication that you have heart, that you're a fighter, that you don't give up. This is something to be proud of.
It's a fighter's award.
Yeah.
You know, it's I've gotten knockouts before. I've gotten submissions before, but you know, a lot of people pride me on my heart and being able to stay in there when the going gets tough, and this is an award to show that aspect of it.
Absolutely. All right. I'm in agreement now. So let me ask you this. We were sitting on the Fox desk in Boston. I remember you coming up, and the vibe I got from you, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it's like you weren't quite sure what to make of the win because, you know, some of the fans were booing. Is a huge win, so you're happy about it. It's like it wasn't, as I said, I don't think it's one for your highlight reel. Like if I want to show someone the ultimate Eddie Alvarez, that's not, but you did what you had to do to win. You had the perfect game plan. You executed it. Do you feel better about the win now?
I do. Immediately after a fight, you can never ask me, "Oh, how'd you do?"
Uh-huh.
I never can assess it until I watch the fight over. I see actually what went on. I really have no recollection immediately after. So you can't get my best assessment. But after watching it here at home, seeing everything that went on, people were making it sound and making me feel as if we wrestled the whole entire fight. When I went back and looked, we didn't wrestle at all the whole second round. We did nothing but strike the whole second round. So I think that the fight went exactly how I wanted it to. And I think anybody who don't understand what happened that night, they just don't know much about MMA. I think I did exactly what I wanted to do, and Anthony Pettis didn't. And that's why I won the fight.
I feel like you're not getting enough credit for a win over Anthony Pettis. A win over Anthony Pettis is a gigantic deal. This is a guy who was a champion one fight ago. Do you feel the same?
A bit. Not a lot of people are making a big deal of it, but I think I spoiled a lot of people's plans. The fans, Anthony. I think a lot of people were hoping Anthony was getting his way back. Maybe a lot of sponsors, a lot of people. This was supposed to be the showtime. Anthony Pettis. That ended up being the Alvarez show.
Right.
Right. I did what I wanted to do. I fought the fight exactly where I wanted it to be, and sort of shut him down. And rather than fans be like, I actually do have a lot of MMA enthusiasts who are thanking or who are complimenting me about the fight. I think I just got a lot of slack from maybe his fans or something. They were angry that he lost. So.
Do you feel like the blueprint is now out? Like this is the way to be. By the way, I think the volume is too loud, so I'm hearing feedback on your computer.
Okay.
I think yeah, that's good. That's better. That's perfect.
Okay.
You still hear me?
Yeah.
Is the blueprint out? Like Guida beat him in a similar fashion. You beat him. Is this until he evolves? Is this how you beat Anthony Pettis?
You know, every champion, every guy in this weight class is always evolving, always getting better, always trying to find out how to keep their strengths and beat guys in front of them. So you can't say, oh, the the secret's out, because he should always be evolving and always changing and getting better. I I feel like I've fought guys, I've fought against opponents who fought me in the same manner that I just fought Anthony in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I learned how to beat guys like Anthony. That's how I feel comfortable going in the cage with high level strikers, high level grapplers, high level wrestlers, because I've been in the cage with all of them. And I think I have an understanding of how to beat each one. And I think maybe Anthony, if they just watch a little more tape, some history and things like that, they can figure out, hey, we beat them this way. But I know some things and how to beat good strikers and how to beat good grapplers. There's a few fundamental rules that you got to follow, and you make it happen.
Do you think it's unfortunate that in this game it's not so much, whether you win or lose, but it's how you win? It's like even if you lose in spectacular, it's a war, as they call it, back and forth, whatever, and you lose in the third round via knockout, you sometimes get more credit than if you do what you did and just did the perfect game plan to negate a guy and just come out there with a solid win. It feels like sometimes we put emphasis on the wrong things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the collective mass doesn't know much about the sport, and then there's a small amount who do. So we definitely have to appease the collective mass and make them happy and make them, when they come out to a fight, make it enjoyable for them. And believe me, everything in my heart wants to please the fans. And if you do watch my fights and watch my career in general, I'm a crowd pleaser. I want to please the people in front of me, but I'm a competitor first. I'm a champion. I want to win. And I try to tell fans and try to educate them a little bit that there's a really small margin for error at the top. At the elite level, there's a small margin for error. So you need to always assess, when I go to do a move, how much risk am I taking versus how much am I going to get out of it? So it's a constant calculating that, trying to figure out.
All right, so where does this win leave you? Because not that long ago, 21st.
I'm the number one contender. I'm next.
That's it.
There's no one. That's it. There's no one. Who? Yeah. There's no one who's done what I've done. Not in the career that I've done it. Been a champion as long as I've been champion. Fought the guys that I fought, and now came in the UFC. Yes, I lost to Donald Cerrone in a split decision, but did I do what most normal guys do and try to pick up a win and get a top 20 guy and try to? No. I fought a guy even higher than Cerrone. I fought Gilbert Melendez, who was ranked number 3. Then after I beat Gilbert, I fought the number 1 contender, the number one guy in the world, and beat him. There is no one else. I'm next. It's not even debatable. If someone wants to debate it with me, we can go on for days.
Did you share these views with the UFC, and if so, what'd they say?
I'm going out to the March 5th fight.
Oh.
With Conor and RDA and seeing what goes on there, but everything changes really quickly in this sport. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm next. I don't see anybody else who's even close.
Did they ask you to fight Tony Ferguson?
Yeah, as soon as I got done my fight, I got a call to fight in like 5 weeks, and it was definitely a no-go. I'm doing rehab right now and getting some things straight. I'm not terrible, but I'm definitely not in fighting condition right now. So I would need to work some things out with myself before I, go out there and fight again.
What's wrong?
I messed my ankle up a little bit during the fight. I have partial little tears in my ligaments in my ankle, so I need to rehab it. Nothing is serious. It's just in order to get through another 3-month, 2-month training camp, I want to make sure everything's correct. And getting back in there 5 weeks later and getting in a hard camp would kind of be foolish. So just going to tweak, make things strong, and make sure I go back out there as good as possible.
Even if you were healthy, would you have taken the fight?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I would have talked to some people and figured it out.
But if you're the number one contender, why take it?
I don't know. To stay busy. I don't know how long I'm going to sit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen if for any reason I don't get a title shot. Maybe it's just better to go out there, but it really don't make sense. As a fighter, to keep busy and keep fighting, yeah, I take it. But I've only fought guys since I've been in the UFC who were ahead of me. It was never, let me try to fight a guy I know I can beat or a guy I know I can match up well with. It was, we're only going to fight the guys who are ahead of us to prove that we're the best. And I definitely don't, after all this, want to start doing that. It makes no sense.
And okay, so it's interesting because I feel like it's such a unique time at lightweight because Conor is obviously the big fight. He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest star in the sport. That means a lot of attention and probably a lot of money. But if he wins this fight on March 5th, it sounds like he's going to go down to 145 and defend that title. So that's an extended time off. So are you kind of hoping that RDA wins even though it's not the big money fight?
Either way, I'm going to fight. We're going to fight. We're going to figure out who to fight anyway. Whoever the best guy in the division is at the time, that's who we're going to go after. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I thought about both outcomes, and both of them have pros and cons. Both of them do.
Did they ask you to fight April 23rd?
No.
Because now Ferguson's fighting on that card against Khabib.
Yeah, I think they're fighting in April sometime.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact date.
My mistake. They're fighting April 16th on Fox. April 23rd is Jones Cormier. Are you worried at all that because that's a big stage and that they're going to give those guys the number one contenders spot? Ferguson's very vocal. Are you worried about any of this, or you feel pretty confident that you have it secured?
I don't feel like either one of them can be talked about as far as number one contender. I can go on a 6-fight winning streak too if I'm not fighting guys who are in the top 3, top 5 in the world. I could have chose that path. I don't want that path. I'm past that. I want the best guys, and I want to prove that I'm the best. So I fight the best guys. I don't prove I'm the best by fighting top 20 guys and fighting and choosing good matchups that make me look good. Fight the best guys and beat the best guys. So as far as I'm concerned, both of them guys, they don't really have a leg to stand on. Khabib, both of them are good. Khabib is also an excellent fighter. Hasn't fought in 2 years.
Yeah.
If I decided right now as the number one contender to take 2 years off, am I going to be able to come back and fight for the title? That's foolish. That shouldn't have to happen. So I think both of them have a little more to do, and I think that I'm next. It's that simple. And I'm the guy who can actually beat the champion and be the champion and stay the champion because of my experience. So that's why I should be next in line.
By the way, what was your reaction when you heard that Benson Henderson signed with Bellator, leaving the UFC, signing with Bellator? Given your history, I was curious what you thought of it.
Look, when fighters become free agents, it's good for us all. I'd be lying if I say anything else. When more fighters become free agents, it's good for all of us. Our value goes up. Mm-hmm. We all get to see other numbers that we don't really get to see. It was a good thing. When I was a free agent, it was a good thing. A lot of numbers are disclosed. We don't ever get to see them. So it's good for the management. It's good for the promoters. It's good for the fighters. It's good for the sport in general. We need free agents.
I noticed Michael Chandler sending you some pleasantries after your fight. When are you guys? You guys sort of. I mean, that was the prime rivalry. You guys put on some classics in Bellator. Doesn't seem like any bad blood or anything, right?
No, Mike came to Ricardo Almeida. He came to Ricardo Almeida to help Frankie get ready. He was down there, so I got to see him there. And we did a lot of promoting together. So, there was never anything personal between me and Mike ever. He's a great competitor, and I love to compete, and we just happened to be in some wars together. It was a good style matchup for when it happened, and I've gotten better because of being in fights like that with Mike. So we have no issue with each other at all.
Speaking of your training, considering how your last fight went, is it fair to assume that you'll be sticking around in the Philly, New Jersey area, Mark Henry and those guys?
Mark Henry, Ricardo Almeida, everybody. I'll be here in Philadelphia. I'm not going anywhere. I love being home. Love sleeping in my own bed and seeing my kids every day. And I've been with this team for a long time, and just happy to be able to stay here with them.
Is it okay? What are you going to do about Henry Hooft? Is he still going to coach or be in your corner?
Yeah.
Even though, yeah.
I call and report to Henry on a weekly notice. I send him sparring. So it's kind of like a sort of Skype type deal or a WhatsApp. I confide in him. I love Henry's outlook and his experience. So I've always worked at Henry. I'm happy to have him in my corner.
Okay, two last quick things. Perfect world. When would you like to fight again?
June, July.
Okay.
June, July be nice to fight for the title. Ideally, just as long as I'm champion by the end of this year, which I really feel like that's going to happen. I feel like being champ by the end of this year, whether I have to fight once or twice more, it's inevitable. Right now, we're just in the right place at the right time with the right training and training partners. We're right where we're supposed to be at.
Who's your pick? RDA or Conor?
RDA. It's for me, it's a very simple fight for RDA to win, but he needs to implement a ground attack. If he don't, I honestly feel like he can get knocked out just like the other guys that Conor was able to knock out. But he can't allow it to be mostly of striking. I hate when guys who are from a BJJ background and a good wrestling background abandon their whole base and their whole fundamental because a lot of guys around them are telling them that they're really good strikers. I hope RDA doesn't do that. I hope he sticks to what he's good at and wins the fight in a dominant fashion the way he can. The way I feel like a lot of guys can that aren't doing it against Conor. I feel like there's a simple way to win against this guy, and nobody seems to be doing it. It's really it's frustrating to watch.
And that's take the fight to the ground?
Yeah, I feel like he'll look foolish. I honestly feel like it could be an embarrassment. It could be like everyone in the crowd going, "Wow, that was it? Why didn't anybody else do that?" It could be like it could be that surprising to people.
Wow,
that's how I feel.
Fascinating.
We just haven't seen him there.
Yeah, Mendez had some success.
Okay, let's talk about that for 1 second.
Okay.
Mendez is primarily a wrestler, correct?
Yeah.
Primarily a wrestler. In order to implement a wrestling attack, it takes a ton of energy and a ton of conditioning and training. You can't roll off the couch and implement a wrestling attack against a guy. It's just not going to happen. You need to be conditioned. You need to be in shape. So if you're a wrestler and you're rolling off the couch to go in a fight, essentially you have no weapons. You have none. Your only weapon wrestling is no good because you're not conditioned. So if you're a wrestler, you need to be conditioned in order to go in them fights and implement your strength. You can't do that on a 10-day notice. So the guy hasn't been in the fight that we need to see him in. Nobody's implemented an attack. And when someone does, it's over. This whole show's over. The whole goddamn spectacle's over with. I don't know why no one's doing it. It's very frustrating.
Okay. Now I want to see Eddie Alvarez versus Conor McGregor. Great stuff, Eddie. Again, congratulations on the win. Fascinating stuff, insightful stuff. Appreciate your candor, and I guess I'll see you March 5th in Las Vegas.
All right, I'll see you, Ariel.
There he is, Eddie Alvarez. Great stuff from the Underground King himself, joining us from Philadelphia. Making the case. Wow.